The morning of April 16, 2007 began like any other Monday in the quiet mountain town of Blacksburg, Virginia. At Virginia Polytechnic Institute and State University, better known as Virginia Tech, thousands of students were preparing for their early classes, unaware that the date would soon be etched into history for all the wrong reasons. The air was crisp, the campus was sprawling with life, and the promise of spring was in the air. But in the shadows of West Ambler Johnston Hall, a storm was already breaking. Remember to comment, like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss future episodes of the Calendar of Crime. Your support helps us continue to tell these important stories with the respect they deserve. At 7:15 a.m., the first shots rang out in room 404 of West Ambler Johnston Hall. Ryan Christopher Clark, a beloved resident advisor, and Emily Hilscher, a freshman, were the first victims. In the immediate aftermath, police believe the incident was a domestic dispute, a tragic but isolated event. As they focused their investigation on a person of interest, the real threat was moving silently across campus. The shooter, a 23-year-old senior English major named Seung-Hui Cho, returned to his dorm to reload, leave a disturbing note, and prepare for the next phase of his horrific plan. By 9:01 a.m., Cho was at the Blacksburg post office, mailing a package to NBC News in New York. It contained a digital manifesto, photos of him posing with weapons, and a chilling video alluding to the carnage he was about to unleash. He then walked toward Norris Hall, an engineering building on the other side of the drill field. He carried a backpack filled with chains, locks, and hundreds of rounds of ammunition for his two handguns, a Walther P22 and a Glock 19. Upon entering Norris Hall, Cho used the heavy chains to lock the three main entrance doors from the inside. He left a note on one door warning that any attempt to open it would cause a bomb to explode. It was a calculated move to trap the students and faculty inside and keep the police out. As he moved to the second floor, the hallways were filled with the normal sounds of lectures and discussions. That peace was about to be shattered forever. The first classroom he targeted was room 206, where Professor G.V. Loganathan was teaching advanced hydrology. Cho entered and opened fire without a word. Of the 13 students in the room, 9 were killed, including the professor. The speed and ruthlessness of the attack left no room for escape. Those who survived did so by playing dead or hiding under desks as the shooter moved on to his next target. In room 211, Jocelyn Couture-Nowak was teaching intermediate French. When the sounds of gunfire echoed from the hallway, she immediately sensed the danger and urged her students to get to the back of the room and take cover. Cho entered the room multiple times, firing methodically. Despite the terror, Couture-Nowak stayed with her students until the end. 12 people in that room, including the instructor, lost their lives that morning. Across the hall in room 204, a different kind of story was unfolding. Professor Liviu Librescu, a 76-year-old Holocaust survivor, was teaching solid mechanics. As Cho attempted to enter the room, Librescu threw his body against the door, using his own weight to block the shooter's entry. He shouted for his students to jump out of the windows. Because of his selfless sacrifice, nearly all of his students escaped with their lives, though the professor himself was fatally shot through the door. In room 207, the elementary German class led by Jamie Bishop, also came under fire. The shooter entered and began shooting, killing 4 students and the instructor. The survivors in this room described a scene of clinical silent violence. Cho did not speak. He only moved and fired, his face a mask of detached determination. The carnage might have been even worse if not for the quick thinking of students in room 205. Hearing the shots, they didn't wait for instructions. They moved heavy desks against the door and braced themselves against the wall. When Cho tried to push his way in, the barricade held. He fired several shots through the wood of the door, but the students remained low and silent. Frustrated, the shooter moved back into the hallway, leaving everyone in room 205 physically unharmed but forever changed. The massacre lasted approximately 9 minutes. In that brief window, 174 rounds were fired. As police finally breached the chained doors using a shotgun, they heard a final shot from the second floor. When they reached room 211, they found the shooter dead from a self-inflicted wound. He was surrounded by the victims of his final senseless act, the deadliest school shooting by a single gunman in US. History was over, but the nightmare for the survivors and the families of the 32 victims was just beginning. In the days that followed, the world watched as Blacksburg transformed into a sea of maroon and orange. The Hokie Nation came together in a display of resilience that touched the hearts of millions. We remember the names of the 32, the students with bright futures and the professors who dedicated their lives to knowledge. Their legacy lives on in the changes made to campus safety protocols and the ongoing conversations about mental health and gun violence in America. Thanks for watching. Please comment, share, like, and subscribe for future episodes from the Calendar of Crime.